What up? What up? What up? It's RJ Fantasy Football Talk, and we back. Hey man, we got what 1 day tonight before we can start actually
Hey,
some real football. You
we
know
are
what
less
it
than
is, man.
24 hours away from the fun starting. What's
Hey
up,
man, you
folks?
know what
What's
it
up,
is.
Justin? I see you out there.
What's up, Justin? I've been talking to Justin, man. I talked
Oh,
to
word.
Justin yesterday, man. He had a draft, and man was chopping it up on
Okay.
X. So but hey, you know what it is. It's Rodney. It's Jay. Hey man,
Hey.
Hey, look. Now I'm gonna let y'all know ahead of time.
I want to get into yeah.
I'm
Tell them
multitasking tonight, y'all. So I got a draft that I'm doing as we doing the
as we
show.
speak.
So this is nothing new. I have done this before, so it's all good.
So if Rodney ain't answering your questions, it's because he's trying to decide
Yeah.
whether to draft David Montgomery or Jameer Gibbs. Hold on to
Well,
that thought.
I got the number two pick right
Yeah.
now.
Right.
So I already know where I'm going unless this guy in front of me takes him. But I got a backup plan after that. But it's cool though. It's cool.
Right.
But hey, I can multitask. I'm good at this stuff. So,
Do your thing.
but what's going on, man? How you feeling about
Hey,
this
hey,
week coming up
I'm
with
excited.
your team and everything? How you feeling?
Hey, last night I had my last two drafts, and so I am officially set and ready for the season. I'm pretty sure we're gonna hear about one of those drafts when I asked the producer how she's doing. But we had a really good time. One of the ones were like some of my college guys, fraternity people. So and then doing our thing, getting stuff ready for the season. There's a lot of news out there, so I'm sure there are going to be a bunch of questions about players and injuries. But things are good. What's up with you?
Hey, man, I'm just trying to get through this draft tonight, and this is my last one. I cut down my leagues from 7 to 6 this year, so I just got a, a lot going on. So it's just trying to do too many. I can't do, but I'm good with six. But man, you had a conversation last week. All mine are money leads, so
Yeah,
I'm still putting a lot this year. But hey, it's gonna be fun, man. I feel good. I feel like it's gonna be a bounce back year for me. I
yep,
feel like
yep.
I feel like I'm about to come back and win some chips, and it's gonna be a good year. I'm telling you, man.
It
I
should be.
see it.
I am in 9 leagues this year, so I actually stepped up from where I was a year ago because I got an addiction like the crack did to Pookie, and I don't even understand what my problem is, but yeah, I
Hey,
need I need help. So if there's somebody out there that's a therapist, y'all give me a hand.
I
Keep me
mean,
going.
I put it like this: if you're good, people call you to play in leagues. So,
Maybe that's
and
what
we
it is.
playing so many leagues, people be starting their new leagues, and they be like, "Hey, you want to jump in?" So that's how you get known in fantasy football because you play in other leagues with people. So,
Yeah, that's how you get better. The more
of
you
course,
win, the
yeah.
more you learn. What about you over there in producer world? Uh, how's your week going?
Oh, it's my week's going all right. All my drafts are over.
Uh huh.
Um, I've lost track. Is it three?
You are in. No, I think
Three. It's
is
three.
it three?
Yeah,
Because it's the women's
it's the
league.
women's
I got
league.
you in the
It's
defensive league. You're in the SMFL. I
yes.
guess that's it.
So it's three. But
Yeah.
I got forced into
It's.
that defensive league. Thank you,
I
Jay
dragged
of
her
the
into one.
R and J.
Oh
Thank
my
you.
God,
Appreciate it. I have
can't be
no
dragging her into no league, man.
I have I don't I mean I know of defensive players, but when I was drafting last night, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing. I was like, he looks good. Okay, sure. Apparently, I must have did something right because I kept taking his players.
She
So
took a bunch of my players because we were both at the back. I was drafting at the 9 spot. She was drafting at the 10. But here's the crack of all of it. Despite her saying she has no idea what was going on,
no clue, no
projections are
clue.
what they're worth. They have her projected to finish first in the league.
Oh wow,
I
that's
was like,
good
all
though.
right then. So yeah,
Go figure.
go
I
figure.
tell y'all now, if I win that one,
It's gonna
that
be a
would be
problem.
hilarious.
She
That's
ain't gonna
all
let
I'm gonna
she ain't gonna
say.
let you live that down. Now you know that,
nah,
right?
nah, I know. I'm ready for it though. I'm ready.
Just letting
No,
you
you
know.
could
So
Hey,
no, you
hey,
can live
but
it
hey,
down
the
because I
RNJ way.
mean,
When one of us blows up, we all blow up. So
hey,
oh, we
we,
doing that
we all in this
again.
together, all for one and one for all.
We're
you better
doing that
believe it. We got to bring
again.
some chips home this
Hey,
year.
we the Three
Oh
So
goodness.
Musketeers. So let's do
hey,
it.
it's all good.
I see Justin laughing at my 9 leagues. How many are you in, brother? Let me know.
Justin, that's a lot of leads, Justin. That's
Hopefully
a
less
lot.
than me, cause yeah, I got.
That's a lot of overlapping. I tell you that.
Hey,
Boy, that's a lot of over.
I told you before, like I did every year I play. I got all the players in the league, so no matter what happens, I'm winning, I'm losing. It's all fun. So
Yeah,
that is definitely true.
Yeah,
that
on
is
Sundays he's literally
true.
rooting for
I'm rooting
everybody.
for
I've
everybody.
witnessed it. It's kind of funny actually.
Yeah. So before we get into football, any cool news? Anybody? And you can throw in on this too, Sydney. Any fun news stories out there in the streets?
I ain't really got it. Let's talk about Prime though, man.
Well, that's the one. Yeah, that's. It's not NFL news, so yeah. Let's talk about Prime because that's an interesting one. Coach Prime, Colorado,
Talk about Prime, man.
pulling a massive upset over TCU this weekend. What you think
I
about
mean,
the boys?
I like it. They had a 20 point. They had them losing by 20. I mean, that's
Yeah.
to me that's crazy. To even
I was a little bit surprised by that line when I first saw it. I was like, 20 points. I think TCU should have been favored. I thought 20 was a tad bit disrespectful.
well, 20 was a tad bit disrespectful,
Yeah.
but TCU also lost a lot of people to the NFL
Yeah.
too, so they shouldn't have gave them a 20. But I think it's the disrespect part of them saying because the big thing was that Colorado came in with 75. I'm sorry, 68.
Yeah. Transfer portals.
Transfer
Yeah.
portals. But he told you if you ever watch his son's YouTube channel, he said, look, he told him when he first came in, he said, I want y'all the guys that was there. He said, I want y'all to hit the portal because
Yeah.
it ain't gonna work here. I'm bringing Louis bags with me, so I need y'all to hit the portal. And I was like, oh wow.
They had
But he
three
told him,
players from last year's team. But
yeah,
it was a team that won one game. So it's like, well, yeah.
that's true. And I think the one player, one of the three caught an interception.
Yeah.
In the back of the end zone. So I think he kept with the three that was good. So he didn't do nothing wrong. So at the end of the day, I think he did what he's supposed to do. So I'm proud of Deion. The most, well, the two I'm proud of is Shador. Shador really,
Yeah, he was impressive.
the way they talked about him and saying that he couldn't play in the Power Five and all.
Yeah.
People forget he was recruited by Florida State. So he was recruited by Florida State. So was Travis Hunter. They were both recruited by Florida State, and they just chose to go to JSU with his dad.
Because Coach Prime was there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, they're talented. They're really, really good players, and Shador will show it this year. I hope he's going into the draft more than likely. So I hope he gets drafted to a team that can use his skill set because he's accurate. He's very accurate. Pocket force is great, bro. He sits in the pocket like it ain't nobody's business. And he'll sit there, he'll throw it. And he's very accurate. He gets it out there. Completion rating is high. So he broke a lot of records.
I pose a thought to you. If Colorado gets turned around quicker than people think, do you think there's a chance he comes back for his senior year if there's a chance to lead Colorado to like a national championship? Only because it's his dad.
I don't think so. I think him and Travis. I want to say Travis is a junior.
No, Travis is a sophomore.
Sophomore. So Travis got.
Junior.
So the only reason I see him coming back is if Travis be like, let's run it back one more time, because I know his brother is a senior, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So his brother's probably going to go out this year. But that's the only way I see Shador coming back is if he basically Travis talks him back into it. Because really, if you think about it,
Travis could talk him into it more than his dad can.
I mean, think about it. They don't really have to because.
Oh no, they don't have to. I'm just wondering.
I think his dad. It's like Caleb Williams. If the situation ain't right and whoever's picking up top and it's gonna be a franchise that's not gonna take care of them, Deion's gonna tell them, look, I think you need to, stay back and let's run it back one more time. So he can't do nothing but up his stock at that point. So.
Well, since you brought up Caleb Williams, let's go to the next college story. Caleb's dad's already saying if the wrong team drafts him at number 1, he can come right on back and play another year at USC. So it's already that kind of setup where people. are willing to play more in college. You don't have to leave like you did before, because with these NIL deals,
Yeah.
you can make a good amount. You can make rookie money in college if you're the right guy. So
They say Travis Hunter picked up another deal for like 400,000, so he's gonna make about, I think, either 1.8 million or 2 million this year in the NIL deals, and I think Shador is gonna make about 4 million.
yeah,
So they don't have to leave to do
hey,
anything.
they make more than Brock Purdy. So
Yeah,
hey,
Caleb Williams makes about 9 to 10 million
yeah,
in idea. He don't gotta leave, and that's the reason why his dad was said what he said.
yeah.
Look, my son, if you telling me Arizona sitting at the top, we good. We ain't going up there. Uh-uh.
like
No,
try again. No.
try again. Nope. I don't want no
Or
parts of that.
force a trade like they did with Eli, because
Yep.
hey, if you're good enough, you can make some more demands that regular players can't. Before we go to the NFL news, because there's a lot of NFL news,
Yeah.
because it's week one. I got one outside of the NFL news story I want to throw at you. This is researchers in Weizmann Institute of Science in Israel. They have managed to model a human embryo. Like from stem cells, they only let it because of ethical reasons. They don't, keep it going. But it's like a 14-day thing where it's actually they've produced a model of a human
Mhm.
embryo that actually gave off the hormones that would have resulted in a positive pregnancy test. So
Wow.
my question for you: they're not doing it now because ethical reasons, blah blah blah, mad scientists. But if they can perfect this technology, they could clone the perfect fantasy football player. If you're at the scientist, what DNA are you putting together to create
That's
this football player?
Now it depends on what the position.
And
Are
what
we talking?
that's gonna be my first question.
I
What
mean, it depends
position
on
do
the
you want?
position. I mean, if you giving me Mahomes, give me Mahomes and Jalen Hurts, put them together. That's all I need. I don't
That's
need
all.
no more than that
I,
because you get the best of both worlds. To be honest with you.
I was gonna say, do you? I would throw in maybe a little bit of Cam Newton for the size, a little Michael Vick for the speed, and hey, Tom Brady might already be perfectly cloned because that man played till he was like 57 and showed no rust. But
Can you hear that beeping note? Can you hear that noise?
I don't hear a noise.
Oh, okay, it's just me
Something
then.
something
No,
beeping.
because
Is it?
I'm dressed.
Hold on. Is it your draft pick?
Yeah,
Beeping.
yeah.
Welcome, Louis Bracy, to the show. I see you out there. Greetings. Glad you could join us. We're just talking a little, chewing the fat a little bit before we get into the NFL talk. But because it's week one, I think we should jump in. There's a lot of news, and I think the top news that's coming out right now are injuries. Of course, a lot of football fans are anxiously waiting to hear an injury report for tomorrow's game. Travis Kelsey hyperextending his knee. Do you think he
Yeah.
plays?
I don't think so. I think they rest him. I think it's very too close to the game,
Yeah,
and they want to have him for long term. I think they rest him. I don't think. I think y'all. I think Kansas City can beat Detroit without him. I think Patrick Mahomes just gonna have to throw it around a little bit more to different players. But I don't think he plays though. To be honest with you, I don't see him playing.
I'm with you. I don't really think it's worth if he just like you said, it's so close to the game. If he just injured that knee, I let him rest on it, and it's early in the season. If you're gonna lose a game, this is the time
Yeah,
to potentially lose the game. And like you said, they can beat I think Detroit with the players. We're gonna go through all the games later in the show, and I'm gonna have some questions for you
let's go.
on who you're gonna put in the substitute for Travis Kelsey. But don't
Yeah,
answer now. Don't
I
answer now.
trust I won't.
Another injury though, Cooper Cup. McVay said they might even put him on injured reserve.
Yeah, if injury reserve is that 4 games or because I
4
know it used to
games
be six
minimum.
games, 4 games. So I see 4 games. I mean, I'm thinking longer than that because that's the type of injury
Yeah,
that
I
can
wouldn't be
linger.
surprised.
I don't think they're gonna be good this year
Oh,
anyway.
they're gonna be terrible.
Yeah, so I think
They're
they
gonna
sit
be
him out as
terrible.
long as he gets right, and then maybe 6 games, and maybe 7 games. But I, to me, I wouldn't rush them back because they're not gonna be as good as they were the past couple years.
Nah.
So to me, I ain't rushing them back to be honest with you. I would let him sit those 4 games and kind of roll with that.
I know
So
if I had traded for Cooper Cup in my dynasty league, I would be pretty upset right now with the fact
because you
that.
did,
Oh, was that me? Okay, yeah,
yeah, that was you.
that
That
was
was you.
me. So I'm pretty upset right now. But it's fantasy football. Injuries come with the game. But I did see on CBS. I can't remember the exact number, but they had 600 and some odd people who had drafted uh, Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Cup, and Travis Kelsey on their rosters. You gotta feel for those folks.
I
Like,
don't because you knew
no,
going into the season, Jonathan Taylor's
Jonathan Taylor
situation,
was a known issue.
that was a known issue. You knew, and then even Cooper Cup got hurt. So
That was early.
not early enough, but he got hurt early to the point where you were still drafting, and you didn't. We was in a draft, and somebody took him and went up there proudly
Yeah.
and said, give me Cooper
Cooper
Cup,"
Cup.
and we in the back like, what? Cooper
Yeah.
Cup really hurt for real. Like, what are
Yeah.
you talking about? Like, and then he re-aggravated the injury on top of that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think like, why would you do that? So to me, it's no excuse. It's some players you just stay away from, and you know the situation. Even Josh Jacobs, to a point, you stay away from
I did.
early anyway
Yeah, I
until you
was
figure
very
it out.
hesitant to draft him this year because of the fact that he might not play. I need consistency on a week to week basis.
Thank
So
you.
I'm never going with guys that I have any fears about. At least not. I told y'all on the show. Was that last week? I can't remember. Last week or the week before. I had a chance to keep Jonathan Taylor or Saquon Barkley. And for me,
Hmm.
it was obvious I'm keeping Saquon because I know he's going to play because he already signed his money tender. So, but I
I'm
know
just saying.
the biggest news of the day is something I'm going to let you break because I know you're
Uh,
happy about it.
I'm happy he's back. Nick Bosa gets a 5-year deal, 170 million, but 122.5
Guaranteed.
million guaranteed. He is making $34 million a year as a defensive end.
The highest
Now,
ever defensive
I
player.
will say this. At first, I was like, I don't think that's a good idea because at the end of the day, he's had 2 ACLs in his
Hmm.
career. He's missed a whole season since he's been with the Niners,
Yep.
to be honest with you. So for me, I'm not. I would have kind of fought it a little bit more, but that's the Niners. I looked at something earlier, right? We're
Uh huh.
so top heavy, right? We have 8 players all making $14 million or more. Everybody else is not making any money.
Yeah.
And the thing is, we're top heavy. So if any one of those guys get hurt, we're screwed. And that's the crazy part. Trent Williams is making 28 million. Kittles is making 18 million. You got Bosa making 34. You got Debo making 25. It's crazy, but they found a way to pay him. So all I can do is say congrats on that. So you got what you wanted. So
Yeah, they're gonna put. And I was talking with you about this earlier. The 49ers better make sure they win the Super Bowl while Brock Purdy's on that rookie contract because they are gonna
yep,
be tapped. Like I said, they're top heavy, but
the top
it doesn't
heavy.
leave money to pay. But I will say this: at least they're not doing the thing that a lot of teams. I'm talking about the Ravens and the Seahawks paid their quarterback a butt ton of money and then couldn't continue to pay all the players that made that team great. Because we saw the Seahawks fall apart when they couldn't pay the Legion of Boom or all their defensive players and running backs, and we saw the same thing happen with the Ravens when they gave Joe Flacco a bunch of money. They're kind of
Yep.
doing it the reverse way in San Francisco, but I will say the Seahawks and the Ravens won Super Bowls before, so y'all still haven't got
I,
that ring to
I mean, I
justify.
think honestly, we got to get we got to get he fades in January, in my opinion.
Yeah,
Um, but I just don't know if I would have gave him that much money. I probably would have traded him, to be honest with you, because we need a right guard.
yeah,
We need right guards and tackles and all that stuff. So I probably would have traded him,
yeah.
in my opinion. So
Yeah, but the deal is done, and like you said, 122 mil guaranteed. So more
that's a
power to
lot, man.
Mr. Bosa. Welcome Tony to the show. 3B player,
Yes,
recently named Tony Technology. So
Tony
uh,
Technology, the
he,
person that we can't never see him.
yeah, he got 4 leagues. he's in. So he's trying. I was trying to get him in the defensive league, but he came back with a response too late, so we couldn't.
Let me
get
tell
him
you
in.
something.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something about Tony, man. Tony's scared, man.
Tony's scared.
He's scared. Tony's scared, man. Tony's scared of playing these big leagues, man. I'm trying to tell you, man. I know it for a fact. Tony's scared.
Don't let her insult your honor, brother. Defend yourself.
Tony's scared, man. He's scared to get this real money, man. He's scared, man. He don't want no parts of that. Hey, look, bro, I need your help. Should I go Saquon or Tony Pollard? Hurry up.
I really like Tony Pollard this year. I'm gonna gamble on him, because you already have Saquon in the league, don't you?
No,
you don't. No, Saquon. Then.
No.
Gamble later. Gamble later. I go Saquon.
All right. Sorry, I'm drafted.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm drafted.
Do your thing. Yo, I'm going back to Bosa and his big money. Maybe, and I'm just saying maybe, this opens the door for two other defensive players that are trying to get paid. Chris Jones in Kansas City, and to another,
But you think they're giving him $34 million or $35 million in Kansas City?
They're not going to give him anywhere near that kind of money. I'm really surprised San Francisco gave Nick Bosa that kind of money. I can't see them doing the same thing over in Kansas City. But there's another Jones, Chandler Jones in Las Vegas, who also is trying to get paid. I don't feel so good about that one because the Raiders have a problem behind the scenes. Chandler Jones is excused, if you will, from the team. He put out some social media posts about the general manager and the coach, and the narrative now is looking like, once again, Josh McDaniels is pissing off his star players.
Why? Why does he do that?
Of course, with Derek Carr, no longer with the team. Devontae Adams was mad. Josh Jacobs was mad. Darren Waller got shipped over to the Giants because, he didn't invite McDaniels to the wedding, allegedly. and now Chandler Jones. It's like, all right, we just... I'm going to try to stay positive, but
I'm going to tell you like this.
I'm not liking what I'm seeing.
Let me ask you a question. As a Raiders fan, how long is his leash as a coach there?
This year they've got to... Hey, he shipped out it's hard to say the best, but the best quarterback we've had in a long time.
Okay.
Derek Carr is the leader in passing yards for Las Vegas, and he shipped him out the door despite them paying to get Devontae Adams so they could team up those two guys together because he wanted somebody that knew a system. So Jimmy Garoppolo knows the system. If this doesn't work, and spoiler alert, I don't think it's going to work, he's going to be on a hot seat. I don't know if he gets fired because for some reason Mark Davis really loves the Patriots, and having any semblance of the Patriots with the Raiders, I think, may get Josh McDaniels another year to make it happen. But if it doesn't work this year, I don't think it works next year either. And I think he's on the hot seat.
I think him out. He's not a really good coach, in my opinion.
He's a great offensive coordinator. I think he needs to stay in that lane.
I think he does too.
He doesn't have the personality to be a coach because we saw it happen in Denver, and then we're seeing it happen again in Las Vegas. This is the guy
that picked Tim Tebow as his quarterback. So let's be totally honest here. He should never get a job again.
Yeah. But it is what it is.
I just don't feel like that's a good combination, to be honest with you.
It ain't been so far. If we had the wins to show for it, then, I'm in a whole nother frame of mind. But right now, nah, it's just not good. But
I'm just saying, I don't know. I think that's crazy. But I don't see the Chiefs handing out $35 million because they're not a team.
Look, they've shown they don't really need a great defense, so they can.
That's the thing.
Is really good, but
I say this: the Chiefs value Andy Reid values offensive line, quarterback. Mm-hmm. He doesn't value running backs as much. I don't even think he values receivers as much because he feel like if you got the offensive line and you got the quarterback, the quarterback can make the receivers and the running backs better. Now he may value some defensive players,
Yeah.
but I don't think he values a bunch of defensive players.
We saw the Honey Badger get shipped out because they won't.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean he also Matthew. He also wanted to go to New Orleans, but I think if they wanted to keep him there, they could have thrown the bank at him to keep him, and it was like, nah, we good. We'll figure out a way because their defense. They just need much. Going back to that TCU Colorado game, they just need some guys that can make stops when you need them, and I don't see them throwing that kind of purse.
I mean, what we talked about earlier, the thing with the Chiefs, it's an offensive league.
Yeah.
So offense is gonna win most of the time anyway. I think what we did as far as paying Bosa that much money, I think that's kind of crazy, because you gotta win with a good quarterback. When it comes down to it, you're gonna need that quarterback to make that play. And I think just because you got a good defense, they'll keep you in games, but offense is gonna win you games. And that's how Andy Reid look at things. He look at things like, look, I'm good, bro. Like, I got Pat, give me an offensive line, and I make it work with a bunch of receivers that y'all don't know about. And then they shipped out Tyreek Hill because Tyreek Hill wanted $30 million. So I don't think they're giving.
If they didn't give him that kind of money, they ain't giving it to Chris Jones either.
Nope.
I'm with you.
So.
Let me welcome Emmanuel to the show. Good to have you. Yeah, Tebow. That's who the Raiders coach wanted.
Yep.
And if I remember correctly, moved up in the draft.
Moved up to get him in the first round.
Tebow. So
yep.
Disaster.
Disaster.
And Nita, I am in one of the leagues that Nita's in, but I watch over the other one. And she has a problem with the ESPN random draft generator because she ended up with the last pick. Yeah. I can only tell you random selection. So yeah, I'm pretty sure the volume. Hold on. Oh, I'm reading her other comment. Try to see if I can get the volume working. But hey, if you can draft from the front or the back. So I'll just say, wide receivers are, and I usually go with wide receivers are a dime a dozen. It's kind of switching where you draft wide receivers earlier, but there's so many wide receivers. Even in the back, you can get some gems.
So, of course, it's a ton of wide receivers.
So hopefully you pulled out your wide receiver tiers from R&J and found some second tier wide receivers that you could put on your rosters. So we'll see. But hey, is there any other NFL news, or are we ready to get things going?
We got Jimmy. I guess if you want to talk about Jimmy G restructuring his deal, creating $17 million for y'all, I think that's good.
But we'll see. If they 17 million can mend some offenses, so maybe he's willing to come back. But I don't know. I just can't call it with this team. But yeah, he restructured his deal, and he kind of really needs to, because they don't need Jimmy G. Right, we said before that he's more of a stopgap kind of guy until they get, I think, Aiden O'Connell, because I'm ready for that to happen.
You love some Aiden O'Connell, boy. Lord have mercy. Jeez.
Hey, he's legit, and
you love some Aiden O'Connell, boy.
I'm ready for the next generation to start. But I think he needs to have friendly deals because, as he found out in San Francisco, despite the fact that he led them to 2 Super Bowls, they will when somebody younger comes along, they're more than willing to part with you. So
definitely.
But
we can jump in.
But before, you reminded me of one other story about another quarterback in the same division. Russell Wilson told by his coach to stop trying to kiss babies because you're not running for public office, and basically telling them kind of be a jerk.
I don't understand that. Like, that's his role. Last time I checked, was his role to be a role model, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you ask these guys to kiss, to shake hands and kiss babies, but why are you being a jerk about it, though? Like,
I think that's who Russell Wilson is.
I mean, it is.
So it's like I don't think you can stop kids. I don't think when I got it, it seemed like it was implying that he was pretending to be some nice guy when he doesn't have to. I was like, no, that's Russell.
That's
Wilson.
Russ. Russ is a nice Russ is probably I ain't gonna say the nicest guy in the NFL, but he's one of the
He's
nicest
one of
guys
them.
in the
Yeah.
nicest guys in the NFL.
Hey, I ain't gonna go too deep into it, but Future said some things to Russ,
And Russ just ignored it.
like brush it off because that's Russell Wilson. So this personality that he might be expecting, having worked with Drew Brees, who's also a nice guy but could get at people, I don't think is going to be what he's getting.
But I'll say this: Russ is good at annoying people. He's good at ignoring the media. I think he gonna look at him like, look, bro, it don't matter. I'm still gonna kiss babies and and do this and do that. So it don't really matter. So you can say what you want. So it is what it is. So I'm good with that. So I
ain't mad at all.
I think Russ gonna have a good year though. To be honest with you,
I think he's gonna have a better year than he.
I think he's.
Yeah.
I think he's. I ain't gonna say he gonna be the Russ of old, but I think he can play better. The only problem is their receivers are probably gonna be really bad because their receivers are hurt, bro.
But Jerry Jeudy was at practice today.
I'm glad he was. I got him on one of my teams.
Yeah,
I'm
sure you are glad then.
I hope he plays like for real.
Yeah.
So.
Hey, welcome caller to the show. Welcome Catherine Bracey. Hey, better late than never. So we're glad that all of you could join us. And by all means, week 1's coming around. So if you have questions, feel free to let us know. But I think if you're ready, sir,
I'm ready.
It's time to get into the heart of the matter for today. We used to do a segment on the show called the 40-second play clock.
Oh, yeah.
And we would put this out on Saturday mornings to give you last-minute information on your on who you should be drafting, if you will. Not drafting, sorry. Who you should be putting in your lineups. So we're going to do that differently. We're going to actually try to do it live. So bear with us. We're going to see how this
works.
See how we can get it going. Welcome, Orlando Lewis, to the show as well. We just talked about your favorite player, Russell Wilson. So glad you could come with us as well. But we're going to see if we can get this 40-second play clock going. I'm going to ask to go first just because I need to test this out to see how it goes. Plus, I have the first game anyhow. So the way the 40-second play clock goes is we split the 16 games for this week. We're going to talk about all 16 games. We're going to say players we like, players we don't like, things we're going to be looking forward to. So with no further ado, 40-second play clock. And by the way, we're going to try to speed through these as much as we can. But if you have questions, still let us know. And if you got comments on any of these games, let us know that as well.
We still picking the winners, right?
And we're still picking the winners for these players, for these games. So I'm going to start it off with my first pick is the Lions and the Chiefs, the game we talked about before. And the big question about this is, what do you do with Travis Kelce? A lot of people are picking up Noah Gray. I don't think that's probably the best move. Since Kadarius Toney is healthy, I go with him. But I really think Jerick McKinnon could be a surprise pick. But it's the first week, so don't get too crazy. My big thing I'm looking forward to with this game is the split we see between Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, because everybody else is going to do their thing. This game is going to be lights out action. You couldn't find a better first game because there's going to be a lot of points in this one. The over-under is like 54.5. I got the Chiefs winning despite Travis Kelce being injured. I think, like we said before, that the Chiefs can win this game. What do you think about that game?
I got the Chiefs winning. I just think the Chiefs are better. I ain't gonna say a better team, but they're probably just Patrick Mahomes is out there, so they're gonna win. So I mean, at the end of the day, I think they're doing the right thing by not playing Kelce because it's a long season and they don't want to put too much on him right now. I get it. So that's a serious injury, so you don't want to put him out there when he ain't right. So I say don't play him and let him play the next couple of weeks and let him get right. I think Chiefs win.
Yeah, Chiefs win.
Yeah.
By the way, I already messed up, so that's why I wanted to test it first. So apparently the graphic never changed with me. So
no, it's all good.
Let's see if I can get it right on this next one. So your first game, which one are you doing?
I got the Bengals versus the Browns, and the players that I think you should play in this game is obviously Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb, Amari Cooper. Um, I'm going with the Bengals on this one. I think it's gonna be a good game, but I think the Bengals gonna pull it off. I just think they're receiver wise more talented. So I think to me, I'm going that route. So I'm going the Bengals on this one. What you got?
I'm going with the Bengals. I'm really excited to see what Deshaun Watson looks like, and I'm also looking forward to seeing. I got a whole bunch of stuff happening on my screen right now. I'm looking forward to seeing what we're gonna look like with Nick Chubb being more of a pass catcher in this new offense. But
Yeah,
I got the Bengals winning. I just think they're better. I expect Deshaun Watson to be better than what we saw last year, but I
me
don't think
too.
he's gonna be good enough to get the Browns over the hump. I actually still think the Browns are the worst team in that division, but that's another story for another day.
I mean, I agree with you. I just think the Bengals receiving core is just better. I think between T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, that offense is just potent. I think they're gonna come out and they're gonna
Yeah,
do work. I mean, so you really can't.
yeah, they're gonna put
Yeah,
work. We got. Speaking of work, welcome Will Hayes. He said, "What do you think about Joe Mixon, though?"
I like Joe Mixon. I think Joe Mixon is gonna do work, but I think they're not gonna use Joe Mixon as much as people think. I think they want to really throw the football, and I think they're gonna throw the football a lot. Like I like Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is probably gonna throw it 45 times a game, but Mixon is gonna mix in that passing game a lot too. So I think you play Joe Mixon if you drafted him high, but it's weird because Joe Mixon not really going high in these drafts lately that I have seen. So I mean, but I play him though. I like Joe Mixon. So they gave him a little bit of money, but he also lost some money too. So, but he's trying to gain some of that money back. So I think he got something to prove. To be honest with you.
Okay, so let's see. Try to make sure. Hopefully, we can get some of the volume things worked out. I'm gonna try something a little bit different. We might lose our producer for the show, but we'll see what happens. So I go to my next game. Let's see if I can actually get my graphics going this time. My next one is going to be the Saints and the Titans. This one is actually predicted to be a sort of lower scoring game. Much like I said before, it's the first week, so play your guys that you drafted. But I'm really interested to seeing two things. One, they say that Derrick Henry's not going to be the workload guy he used to be because they have TJ Spears there. So I'm really interested in seeing how that goes. But the other one I'm looking forward to see is, hey, if you have Jamal Williams, you only got like 3 games to play him. So hopefully you're going to get some good production from him. I got the Saints winning this game. I'm also interested in seeing a couple of wide receivers, Olave. And let's see what we can actually get from Nuke with his first time with Ryan Tannehill. Because, Ryan Tannehill isn't quite that guy. But, it's Nuke, right? So
Yeah, I
he
think
can make bad quarterbacks look good, right?
Nuke has made bad quarterbacks look good, and I think Nuke is gonna. And I mean, the Nuke is gonna draw a lot of attention to help the other
Yeah.
receiver that's on the other side
Yeah,
too.
he should help
So
Traylon.
he's gonna lay Treylon Burks a lot. So I think at the end of the day, I think me personally, I like the move.
Yeah.
I think Nuke is good. Now the question that's on your mind is, does Tannehill hold on to that job? Because Malik Willis ain't look too bad this preseason.
Malik
Man.
Willis did not look too bad. Good enough to surpass Will Levis, which I think was
Yeah.
kind of a surprise because people were saying that Malik Willis might be out the door or switching to a different position. So I'm interested to see how I say this. If things don't go well for the Titans early, I would not be
Yeah.
surprised if they go back to Malik again because we know Ryan Tannehill is not the guy for that job.
Well, I think he's not the long term
He's
answer.
not the long term guy,
He
Ryan
got
Tannehill.
1 year
Right.
left on his deal, which is this year. He's making about 33 million. So I think one of those guys gonna have to be the future. And I think Malik Willis is probably going to be the future. He's made some
Yeah.
really good
He
strides.
did. He looked much
So,
better than he did this first year.
yes, he did. So I would give him that. So I think at the end of the day, I think he probably, I think he gets that job. I'm gonna go. I want to do another like a bold prediction like I
Uh-oh.
did last year,
You
but
got an extra bold prediction for free.
I
What,
think
give
Malik
give the
Willis,
people a
man,
free one.
he made some strides last year, man, and I can see him taking that job, man, somewhere near the end, that week 8, week 9, because he made strides, and they did it last year. It was because of injury, obviously, but
Yeah.
I think I'm thinking because of play is the reason why he takes that job. To be honest with you.
All right, before you go to your next game, we got a couple of questions in there. Luca Magic, welcome to the show. We talked about Cooper Kupp earlier. Yeah, he lost Cooper Kupp. Half point PR. You get to start one wide receiver, one flex. He's got KJ Osborne, Zay Jones. I'm assuming maybe that's Jalen Warren, Campbell, or Laporta. So he said he's thinking of flexing Andrews starting Laporta. Laporta, I didn't mention Laporta when I talked about the Kansas City game, but this could be a game where you get something good from him because they're gonna have to score a lot of points. But he was thinking about that in Osborne, or do you trade Laporta for Juju? I do not do that.
I would not trade for Juju at all.
Yeah,
they say Juju got like a bad knee.
Yeah, I was looking at that earlier today, where he might not be.
I don't know if I'm trusting that Juju knee too much, man.
Not at all.
To be honest with you. So,
like you said all last year when you were a Juju hater.
I'm not a Juju hater. Stop telling people that.
The problem with Juju is he's not a one.
He's not a one.
In New England,
I keep trying to tell people
Kansas
that,
City,
but they keep saying I'm a hater. I'm not a
Kansas,
hater.
No, you're right about it. In Kansas City, I didn't think it was a problem because he didn't need to be the one with Travis Kelce there. In New England, they need him to be the one, and I do not make that trade under any circumstance. But if you got to start one wide receiver and one flex from the list of players he got, who do you like the most in that grouping? It's a tough grouping. I say that.
It is.
Like,
I mean, it's tough.
Yeah, losing Cup hurts.
It does.
Losing Cup hurts.
It's 4 games. You kind of try to survive off of that.
I say, at least according to the depth chart, Osborne is above Addison, so I don't know if I believe that.
I don't believe that at all.
Yeah,
no.
I don't know if I believe that.
I mean, if you're doing depth chart, then yes, but Zay Jones ain't been good.
I like Zay Jones. He used to play for the Raiders. The thing is, he's so iffy, and I mean, all of these players I'm looking at up here are kind of iffy. I actually might go with the idea he has of going Laporta only because of all these guys, but it's just.
I mean,
Laporta. I think obviously Amon-Ra St. Brown is the guy, but I really think that those 2 running backs are going to eat because I think they're going to try to have a really good run game and reduce the time, even without Travis Kelce. They're going to try to reduce the time that Patrick Mahomes has the ball in his hands.
I like Laporta. I say do Laporta. Yeah. To be honest with you, I mean, because I don't like Zay Jones. I don't think Osborne.
Zay Jones is too unpredictable.
Yeah. I don't think Osborne.
Jalen Warren would be a good pick if they weren't playing the 49ers.
But I don't think he's going to get that. They keep saying he's going to get carries like that, but I think Najee Harris is going to be Najee Harris, bro. I don't see that. So Laporta is probably the way to go for me.
Of all the players up there I see, I like that the most. But I'll be honest with you, Luca, I don't see good options. I really don't.
I don't either.
On that roster, I don't. I think Laporta is the best of all the bad options you have. So good luck to you with that. But please do not trade for Juju Smith-Schuster.
Juju got a bad knee. They said that knee.
They said that today.
Could explode at any point.
I was like, explode. That's some serious words.
That's what I was like, what? You using words like explode? But he came out and said he was all right. But that's just him saying that. Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, I think he definitely is. I'm not a big Juju fan. I have never been a big Juju fan. I think Juju's way overrated. People give him way too much credit for stuff. So to me, I'm not messing with Juju.
Yeah,
I ain't doing it.
So I'm following the point. Just to follow up, I'm following the points, and this should be a lot of points in that Detroit Kansas City game. So maybe you get luck out with a touchdown to the rookie. So yeah, I'm going Laporta. Welcome all in one show to our show. Another question: they have Diggs, Higgins, Goodwin, and as their wide receiver 1 and 2. As their wide receiver 1, 2, and flex, they have Keenan and Lazard on the bench. Who do you consider? Would you consider either of those two plug-ins in the lineup?
No,
Not even a little bit.
not even a little bit.
This is
No.
week 1. I'm playing the guys I drafted because I drafted
Yep.
them for a reason. We're going through all the games, but here's when we say, hey, we always say play your studs. Week 1, you play your studs because you don't. There's so much you don't know what's going on with this first week. So I don't try to get too fancy. Keenan Allen, I like, and I think that's another game that should have a good amount of points
Yeah.
scored with it. But I don't like him more than Diggs. I don't like him more than Higgins. Maybe Godwin I
No.
play more. But there's news coming out that Mike Evans might not be everything this year, and maybe Godwin has a chance to be the main guy. So I think I still go Godwin. If I'm gonna make any of those, and Lazard is just a no outright.
For me,
Keenan Allen's the only possible one I would do.
I don't wish injury on nobody, but
Yeah.
Keenan Allen just doesn't stay healthy for me.
But it's
He's-
week 1.
But he gets hurt early
Yeah.
in most seasons
know, right?
all the time. And to me, I'm like, I don't know about that. So
Yeah.
maybe Keenan Allen, like you said, is probably the only one. But
Keenan
Lazard,
Allen is a possible. I might
Yeah,
do
but
that one.
Lazard
I might do
may-
that
no.
because, like I said, because of that matchup, we're gonna go through all the games, and I'm gonna say something about that. There's a lot of points that's gonna be scored in that game, and so maybe that over Godwin, I'd consider doing, but the other ones are hard no.
Yeah, that's a hard no for me.
fact-
I'm starting all my guys, Diggs, Higgins, and Godwin out the gate, and I'm rolling with
And-
that,
and
and I
seeing
feel
what
comfortable
happens.
doing that. Yeah, definitely.
I'm not mad at you. All right, thanks for the question. Are you ready for your next game?
Let's go. I got the Texans versus the Ravens. And only guy I'm playing from Houston is Damian Priest.
Yes.
I know the rookie's there, but the Ravens really do well against rookie quarterbacks. Obviously in Baltimore, you playing Lamar, Mark Andrews. I'm even saying OBJ. I think OBJ comes out and plays well. And Zay Flowers. I think those two are going to eat a lot in this game. So, and I think it's just going to be, I think it's going to be bad for the Texans because the Ravens really, they destroy rookie quarterbacks, bro. It's really bad for them. So I'm going to Ravens on this one. What you got?
Yeah, I got the Ravens on this one. I said before, and I think you agree with me. The Ravens on paper look magnificent.
Yeah.
And their only issue is they can't stay healthy. It's week 1. So they should be at least healthy. Actually, a couple of years ago, they weren't healthy week 1. So now that they got all their players together, I think this should be an easy Ravens because the C.J. Stroud, like you said, he's a rookie, and I think he's going to really struggle. I'm impressed with how he's gotten better during the preseason, but
Yeah.
overall, this is not going to be a great game for the Texans. I'm not playing a single, like you said, Dameon Pierce. And even to an extent, that's only going to get you so far because once it's a blowout, I don't even know how well they're going to be able to effectively run the ball. But, yeah, Dameon Pierce is the only guy I really like.
Yeah, and I think Damian Pierce last year was really good. But he slowed down a little bit last year. But I think this year he's going to be really good. I think Damian Pierce is. I think you get him if you're comfortable playing him this week. Everybody else, because they don't have any really good receivers out there that you can really name. So
Yeah.
I'm rolling with Damian Pierce, and that's about it. If you're comfortable doing it, so.
All right, going back to all-in-one's question. Tony said he would go with Keenan Allen for week 1. And I'm not, like I said, Keenan Allen is the only one of those guys I would consider doing that for. Keenan Allen for Chris Godwin. But thanks, Tony, for the input. Because that's what RJ Fantasy Football Talk is about. It's a place we can discuss our lineups and, get the audience input is just as good as what we have. So thanks for that. And with that said, another question from Will Hayes. Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back.
Should he start Aaron Rodgers or Daniel Jones? Also, one option for that flex. You got Cortland Sutton, James Cook, George Pickens, or Nico Collins. I think we can eliminate Nico Collins just from the last game you just said. But first off, Aaron Rodgers versus Daniel Jones. Who are you going with?
Aaron Rodgers. That's easy, and I'm not even an Aaron Rodgers fan like that. But I'm going Aaron Rodgers, quick, fast, in a hurry. So nah, give me Aaron Rodgers
You,
all
you
day, every day.
you might be tempted to go Daniel Jones because of his rushing ability, and Daniel Jones was really good for fantasy football a year ago. But I'm still gonna go with Aaron Rodgers on this one. I'm gonna agree with you because of number one matchups, and that
Yeah,
matchup is that's gonna be another good game. With the we'll get to that one as well later on the show. The Bills and the Jets. I think we're gonna see Aaron Rodgers against Josh Allen. They're gonna have to air this sucker out, and so I go Aaron Rodgers too because I see some touchdowns happening with that lineup. So yeah, I'm
yeah,
with you.
Aaron Rodgers. I like Aaron. I mean, everybody
And you're
think
the
of
biggest
Aaron,
Aaron Rodgers hater there is. So if you're
but
saying it, it must be true.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers. You telling me Aaron Rodgers, Daniel Jones? Daniel Jones. No, I'm good. I don't need. I'm not a fan of Daniel Jones, to be honest with you. I
Yeah,
think he's a little bit overrated.
overrated. A little bit
Yeah.
overrated.
So
He's got
I
$40 million, and he
okay.
should be
Yeah.
happy with that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
but hey, with Saquon, since they got Saquon back, I think Daniel Jones is going to be a good fantasy guy. But I don't pick him
Uh-huh.
over Aaron Rodgers at all.
No, not even.
What
No.
about the second part of the question? Picking the flex spot. Again, the choices are Cortland Sutton, James Cook, George Pickens, or Nico Collins, and not Nico Collins.
George Pickens all day.
You George,
All
even
day.
against the 49ers.
George Pickens all day. I can speak on that. Our secondary, our corners are not really good. And I'm high on
Yeah.
George Pickens this year. I think George Pickens is going to be excellent this year. Um, I think I keep trying to tell people he's going to take that number
Yeah.
one spot, man. And I like Pickens, bro. Pickens is going to be good. I'm trying to tell you.
Gi-
Watch and see.
Given that grouping, I have two things. One, if for some reason Jerry Jeudy doesn't play, I make it Cortland Sutton as my flex option, just
Mhm.
because I think he's gonna they're gonna have to highlight him in that offense. But other things considered, I'm with you on George Pickens because I think he's gonna have a awesome year. Kenny Pickett has been, I think, very much too overlooked in fantasy
Yeah.
football this year, and George Pickens is the reason why I think he's going to be good. So yeah, I'm with
Yeah,
you
he's,
there.
he's going to be really
He's going to
good.
at least get you a touchdown in that game, despite
He
the
go-
defense.
I don't think that plays out that way. I think he does work, period. I think he's gonna our secondary is not that great, to be honest with you. So
We're going to get to Justin's questions before we do the next 40-second play clock game. But are you agreeing with Justin that the Jets are the AFC champions? Or at least that's the AFC championship game in week 1. We'll see it.
no, I'm not agreeing with
They're
that.
not agreeing.
No.
Hater.
That's not a hater. I mean, you telling me AFC champs? Are we forgetting about Kansas City?
Oh, I gotta apologize. As we're going through a talking, I didn't see Edward Zing's question. He was on the clock right now, trying to decide between Herbert or Fields.
Herbert. I'm sorry. It
But
depends on what
depends
league.
on the yeah.
Depends on the league. I'm drafting two, Edwards. So yeah, I get it. I get it. So
we probably lost the clock opportunity to give you.
we're sorry, man. We
I apologize to that one.
Yeah.
The smart answer according
It's
to
Herbert.
the regular. Well, actually, I was going to say the smart answer according to typical scoring is to take Fields based on what you saw last year. But I
Mhm.
would go Herbert only because, and this is my personal philosophy in fantasy football, you're drafting Fields for the potential of what he could do.
Yeah.
You already know what Herbert will do because we've seen Herbert be Justin Herbert every year since he was a rookie in the league. And if the other people in your league think the same way, you can
Mhm.
probably get Herbert later. And I'm all for getting my quarterback as late as possible in leagues where that's possible. So sorry, we probably didn't get that in time to help you while you were on the clock.
We apologize about that
But
one.
let us
man.
know what you ended up picking from those. Now I'll go to Justin's questions that he had there. He wanted to show his lineup. He mentioned the scoring: 1 quarterback, 2 wide receivers, 2 running backs, and 1 flex. On his squad, he has Jalen Hurts, which is great. Bijan, J.K. Dobbins. I have J.K. Dobbins, and so I'm riding that train until he gets hurt, which hopefully won't happen this year. We're both big on Antonio Gibson, Tyler Algier, Jalen Warren. We talked about before. The wide receivers, you got CeeDee Lamb, Johnson, Mike Williams, which neither one of us are really big on.
Yeah, I'm not big on Mike Williams.
Zay Flowers, Jordan Reed, Marvin Mims, the other guy. If Judy doesn't play, that could have a decent game. Rashad Bateman. See my comment before about J.K. Dobbins and Darren Waller. Hopefully that works out. That's a pretty good squad.
That's a good lineup.
I really like the running backs. We mentioned before that even though Bijan is there, Tyler Algier has a chance to really put up some numbers. And even if he doesn't, you've got a handcuff for Bijan Robinson. So I like that. I like that squad.
I mean, I'm not. I guess people are high on Bijan this year. I just feel like that. It's a lot of running backs back there, man. But he got Algiers, which is good. So you can probably both of them at the same time because they're going to run the football a lot in Atlanta this year. So I would say run both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
And I love the Gibson pick. People are sleeping on that Gibson.
Yeah.
He's going to be the kick return, the punt returns, third down.
You heard it here. Antonio Gibson will outperform Brian Robinson in fantasy football this year. It's going to happen.
Easy.
Tony got some more advice for people. He's going Pickens as well for that flex spot question. And he's also going with Justin Herbert over Justin Fields in the battle of Justins.
Yeah, definitely.
Make sure I don't skip. Val's the GOAT. Welcome to the show. What do you think about Mahomes after the Kelsey injury? I love Mahomes no matter what.
No matter what, yeah. Mahomes is definitely – you can't go wrong with Mahomes. So,
hey, Mahomes is just great, and I don't think it really matters. Of all the people on that roster, I think Travis Kelce hurts the most because of because there's just no replacement for him. You're gonna find, and we talked about this last year with Tyreek Hill leaving. I was like, I don't care about Tyreek Hill leaving because what Tyreek Hill brought to that offense was easily replaceable. Travis Kelce, on the other hand, you can't replace Travis Kelce with anybody on that roster or any other roster. I think it hurts, but in the short term, I think Mahomes and the guy we've seen Mahomes turn offensive linemen into productive receivers. So overall, I don't think Mahomes is going to suffer too bad without Kelce out.
Well, you got to look at it this way. I think Mahomes is the type of quarterback that makes receivers better. You have those quarterbacks that do that, and you have receivers that make quarterbacks better.
Yeah,
he's one of those guys who's going to make that receiving core better.
Yeah,
and I think they're going to ball out regardless. So I think you can't go wrong, to be honest with you. Okay. So,
other question from Viles the Great. What do you think about his 12-man team, full PPR? Mahomes, Etienne, who could have a really maybe finally get his coach said 1,600 yards. I don't believe it personally, but I'm hoping because I have Etienne as well. I hope it wasn't coach talk. He also has.
You know how coach talk is now. Coach talk.
You can't believe coach talk.
They'll have you looking at people like, oh gosh, he's supposed to did this year. So
what happened?
If you think about coach talk,
I'm still looking for Antonio Gibson to have a CMC year, according to Riverboat Ron. That never happened. But he's got Mahomes, Etienne, David Montgomery, Jamar Chase, Deshaun Watson. That's your guy. 4,500 yards you're predicting. T.J. Hockenson, Tyler Lockett on a bench is JSN and IGA who we talked about before, and Samaje Perine.
I like JSN. I like his roster. Etienne, Montgomery, Chase, Watson. Not bad. I mean, I
wish there were a little bit more on wide receiver than what I'm seeing here. I think
he got some guys there.
He's got some guys, but I guarantee you there's teams with much better guys in this league. But but the running backs.
Picking that though? What were you picking at?
Can
you tell me what you was picking at?
Yeah,
that'll help
let us
me
know
out a
where
little
you're
bit.
picking it. Jamar Chase, of course, is great because he's Jamar Chase. He's the next best thing to Justin Jefferson, and I like who he has at tight end with Hockenson. I think he has the potential, especially if Kelsey misses a couple of games. You might see Hockenson the number one receiving tight end in fantasy football. And Lockett's always reliable, so it's not like he has bad wide receivers. I guess for me, Watson is the question mark, but you know. Speaking of which, there's a lot of injured Green Bay Packer wide receivers that are reporting. It was Romeo Doubs and I can't remember who the other player was that they said was limited in practice because they were both dealing with like hamstring injuries. I'm trying to remember, was it Christian? I don't think it was Christian Watson. It might have been. I have to go look it up.
Yeah, they had Christian Watson and they had Romeo Doubs. They missed practice today. I don't know if that's going to – I think they should be all right, though. I don't know if that's going to really hurt anything, to be honest with you. So, I think they'll be all right. So.
Yeah. Oh, when I said Watson earlier, that's Christian. The first time I ended up correcting it. The first time I said Watson, I said Deshaun Watson. But yeah, Christian Watson.
I like Christian. I mean.
Volume, I think he's going to have volume. But I really like the rookie they drafted, Jaden Reed. I think.
Leave it to Tony. Christian Watson probably the best thing smoking. Sorry, Tony.
Yeah, Tony.
Sorry, Tony. Just wanted to put it out there.
Christian Watson is serviceable. Like I said, his wide receivers aren't bad. As far as Jamar Chase obviously is the anchor. I got small question marks about the other wide receivers, but I think Hockenson makes up for it.
I'll say this. You got Mahomes who can carry the load pretty much for anybody. And you got Etienne, you got Montgomery. You got Chase.
Yeah.
And Chase is, you got some weapons there, so I think you'll be all right, to be honest with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think this is, at the very least, I think as long as, Mahomes is Mahomes, that's the anchor, I think this is at least a playoff team, assuming it's like a six-man playoff. Then, this is a team that should win some games. Yeah. Before I go to, we're still 40-second play clocking, but before I get to the next one, a question from Grandpa Atlas. Oh, hold up. We were supposed to pick two from Val's the GOAT question. Oh, let me go back then. We're supposed to pick two wide receivers? Is that what we're doing?
Y'all like going on here. He said break my team. Then he was like, no, that's you remember we asked him what pick did he have? He had pick number 2.
Oh, he had pick 2. Okay, there we go. Because I don't know what I'm picking. Oh yeah, that's I'm guessing Jamar Chase was that first pick you made. So yeah, he did some? Well, depending on the league, it could have been Patrick Mahomes, but I'm guessing Jamar Chase was the first pick he did. But that's a good. You came up with a good squad. Congratulations on that. Grandpa Atlas says, what wide receiver should I trade? James Conner flex for Jacobs running back. 1 Mixon is running back. 2 bench running back is Alexander Madison, a guy that you said a lot about. Wide receivers are Jamar Chase and Christian Watson again. What wide receiver
should I trade? What wide receiver should I trade? James Conner flex for Jacobs, RB1, Max 2, bench Madison. Is he asking? Is he trading?
What wrestler should I trade? I guess from my reading of it, he's trying to trade James Conner for I take it as he's trying to, let's see, because he's trying to I think he's trying to trade James Conner, and I'm thinking a wide receiver for, and maybe it's this group here. So if I have Jamar, I'm not trading Jamar Chase.
That's off the table.
That's off the table altogether.
Yeah. Watson is
the only because you only gave us 2 choices. Watson's the only one of those guys I'm trading because I'm under no circumstances am I trading Jamar Chase. I think he should have a really good year. So, what should I trade Conner for? The others are who? Okay, so he's trying to trade James Conner. The others are who we have.
Okay.
Well, if the question is what wide receiver could you get for James Conner, for me, not a big one. Let me think. Even trade for James Conner. Who do you think?
I mean, James Conner is the only thing they got
He's the
out
only
there.
thing he's got. But I just think they're gonna be so bad it won't.
It don't matter. I
Yeah.
don't think he's gonna be that good, to be honest
At,
with you.
at best, I think you get like a wide receiver 3 for James Conner,
Yeah.
and you might be just as good taking the risk of depending on what your waiver wire looks like, because there's always some wide receiver who blows up that people weren't expecting,
Yeah.
and maybe trying to do some of that. But if you put out a trade to me to get and I'm offering James Conner, the guys that come to my mind are guys like a JSN, but I don't even know, because guys that aren't gonna be the main guy on their offense. So I'm thinking like the rookie wide receivers. I'm thinking a guy like a Jacoby Myers. I might trade for a James Conner. Not guys that you probably can, like I said, the guys you could probably find better on the waiver wire. So I hold them. I hold James Conner and hope that the Cardinals aren't so pathetic that he can have a decent year. And I look to see, for one, it's overreaction week. Someone's gonna mess up after this first week
Yeah,
and,
of course.
and drop a player, and I'm on the waiver wire willing to scoop. But
We see that all the time.
yeah. So someone's gonna mess up.
Yeah,
Believe me, we've seen some people mess up in some of our leagues before the season even got started.
Yes.
So yeah, hope that answers your question. Thanks for asking. And hey, for everyone watching, if you haven't already done it, please hit that like and hit that subscribe for us. And follow us on our social media, and we'll always try to give you the best answers we can come up with. Jamal is drafting at the 110 spot. Hey, if we can help you out, hopefully, if you're drafting right now, like Rodney's doing, hopefully we can get our court answers in time to help you. But hey, Grandpa Atlas, we appreciate you. Thanks for being a part of the show. You viewers are what make this show click. All right, I'm gonna get to my next set of games as soon as I remember which one it is. All right. It's my team, the Raiders and the Broncos. My usual mantra that I tell everybody is you have a running back going against the Raiders, play that running back. And I am definitely going to still say that. Now, the good news is it looks like Javonte is going to be healthy enough to give it a go. So he should have a big game. But I think there's a lot of stuff you find out about the quarterbacks in this game. We're anxious to see what Russell Wilson looks like under Sean Payton. I think it's going to be much of the same that we saw from last year, but with a little bit of improvement. But I'm really looking to see what Jimmy G looks like in this Raiders system, because that's the guy that our coach wanted. So, whatever. We'll see how well it works. I still think the Raiders are better than the Broncos because people are saying the Broncos are going to be much better this year with Sean Payton. I don't believe it's true. I'm playing running backs for, like I said, for Denver because they should do well. I mentioned before I'm doing Cortland Sutton or Marvin Mims if Judy doesn't play, but I think Judy's probably going to be. I don't know. He was back in practice. He might be in this game, but it should be a Raiders game. For the Raiders, of course, you're playing the guys because they have some. We do still have some studs with Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs. They're playing
That's
those.
true.
Yeah. Who you got winning the game? And you better say the Raiders.
I got the Raiders winning. I think y'all pull it out. I think Adams is Adams. I think Jimmy Garoppolo actually has a pretty good game, which is
He should.
crazy to say.
Right.
So I ain't mad at it. I got y'all winning. So I think y'all good, to be honest with you.
I don't expect the Raiders to be like good this year, but I think they're gonna be better than a lot of people have them. I've seen the Raiders winning like maybe 2 games this year, 3 games. I think we'll be better than that. I still think we're going to be the 3rd best team in that division, which isn't great, but it's, better. John Bland disagrees. He has Denver because they're at home. I don't care where they're playing.
Hey, can you do me a favor, bro? Can you please do me a favor?
What's up?
My son is up there. My son is crying. I gotta go pick him up.
You gotta go take a time out.
We're live, people. So
we're live. All right.
You're gonna take a TV timeout real quick.
All right. Well, while you're on timeout, and what I do is I see if there's any questions. Go handle your business, and I do my next game, which I am not quite ready for, but I see what I can do. So while he's gone, I say the Raiders are tanking to get their top quarterback next year. Jamal, I would love them to tank and get Caleb Williams next year, but I'm trying to tell people the next quarterback is already on the Raiders team. It's Aiden O'Connell because I might be a tad bit excited from what I saw in the preseason, but I think Aiden O'Connell is actually for real. And what, as much as I'm not a big fan of Josh McDaniels, Aiden O'Connell seems to understand the system well, and the fact that he played in a pro-style system with Purdue and he can get the ball out really quick. He's kind of a gunslinger type of guy. I think Aiden O'Connell could be the answer, and then maybe next year we address some of the other issues on that team. I'm talking mainly about the defense that is just terrible, and they did not really do a good job of getting that together. John Blunt also says that Jimmy G is trash, and I'm not going to argue with you with that. Jimmy G, trash is too strong of a word. I think Jimmy G is mediocre. He's decent enough to fill the role until Aiden O'Connell is ready to take over, but he's just really not that good. And I think that's what gave the 49ers problems because they always needed him to be good in the playoffs. The Raiders are going nowhere near the playoffs, so we don't necessarily need him to be good. We need him to be serviceable. And I think that's what Jimmy G will be until he gets hurt because he is still Jimmy G, and Jimmy G always gets hurt. So I wouldn't expect that to be any different. We got the third man, Shaq, joining us. I had my first draft this weekend where I didn't get Mike Evans, but I have him in so many others. I'm looking for him to do some good things. I made John Bland's nephew cry because because of me taking Jimmy G. I apologize. It just supposed to be cry time. So you made it back before I could. We were talking about how great Jimmy G is while you were gone, and so glad you could get back to us. And we also got Shaq back in the building, joining us. But since you made it back, I reckon I can have you do your next game.
Let's go. I'm sorry, y'all. I apologize. My son, he just woke up. So
yeah, he's got a newborn in the house, and so you got to do your thing. So ain't nobody mad at you.
So I got the Eagles versus the Patriots, and I'm going with the Eagles. Fantasy wise, you playing Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, DeAndre Swift, Devontae Smith. And I think the only one you playing from New England is probably Ramondre Stevenson, because I don't like Mac Jones. I'm not a fan of Mac Jones. So I'm going with the Eagles on this one, and I think they're going to probably blow them out because they got a good defense, a good offense, and they got Jalen Hurts. So
I think I'm bigger on Mac Jones than you are, but not in this particular game. This game, I think that Eagles defense is just going to be nightmarish, if you will. I don't even know if I trust Ramondre Stevenson too much in this one, but it's just the fact of who else can shine in this offense other than him. So it'll be interesting to see that. It'll also be interesting to see how much Zeke contributes to this game. I don't know.
I think, something came out yesterday that Zeke was going to steal a lot of the goal line carries, which I predicted up here.
Yeah, that's what he did to steal a lot of Tony Pollard. So, yeah.
Yeah, he was going to steal a lot of the goal line carries, and he was going to get a lot of work in the passing downs because he's a better blocker. So look forward to that. I still think in between the numbers, the 20s, I think Ramondre Stevenson is going to be the guy. But I think Zeke is going to steal a lot of that when it comes to just points and stuff. So
right,
I don't know. So, but I like Ramondre Stevenson, but I just don't think they win this game.
For me, there's no way the Patriots win this game. I think I'm Eagles all the way. Shaq says we need to apologize to Coach Prime. You missed the beginning of the show, third man.
You need to apologize to Coach Prime because we didn't say anything bad.
Well,
You said they
I did
blown
think Shaq said they were going to get ran through, and I did co-sign on
Yes,
that. I thought
I didn't co-sign on none of
I
that.
did co-sign, but I've
Y'all was
already
co-signing on some stuff that ain't had nothing to do with.
I did make my acknowledgments of the greatness of Coach Prime and that Colorado team because they look pretty good. So yeah, we did the Coach Prime thing. Third man, we need you to report in on time.
Yes, we need you reporting on time.
But he did say he bought some Colorado gear, so he's making it up for it.
He would have been nice to jump in for me if that was the case tonight because I had to run upstairs. But that's okay though. That's all right though. I ain't mad at you. You gotta do what you gotta do.
John also has the Eagles winning, so I think we all agree. I think the Patriots are gonna be somewhat good this year, but I just think there's too much competition in that division. They're probably still last place because I don't see they're not overtaking the Bills. I think the Jets are going to challenge for that top spot. We talked about our division winners last week, and I just think, despite the fact that they can't play defense, the Dolphins are going to be better than the Patriots. So
yeah,
in fact, I think Shaq mentioned it maybe the last year for Belichick. Was that Shaq that said that last week?
Yeah, he said that.
Yeah,
I mean, that's his bold prediction, and it could probably happen.
Yeah,
but it all depends on how Mac Jones play, and that's the big question mark on this team. Is Mac Jones what people think? I don't think Mac Jones that good. I think they're gonna draft another quarterback come next year if Belichick's not there.
Wouldn't that be terrible though? Because think about it, for that draft class, you got Trey Lance already moved on to be a backup. We got Zach Wilson bench, and then you go, if you're right, Mac Jones. It's like that draft class was not good at all, or at least not as good as people thought it was going to be.
I mean, it just depends on how you look at it, but we all know Mac Jones is. To me, Mac Jones was never a good quarterback, even at Alabama. I had my thing about Alabama quarterbacks. Tua is a little bit different. Jalen Hurts is a little bit different. But
Jalen Hurts is in Alabama.
Well, he's not Alabama. He was at Alabama.
They don't get credit for that because they let him go.
You're right.
They don't get credit for that.
They don't get credit for it. That's fine, and I give you that. But I don't know if Tua can pan out. But I think Tua's probably been the best Alabama quarterback that's came out in a long time. And Mac Jones had a lot of good receivers when he was at Alabama that made him look good to where he got picked high. Mac Jones was never a good quarterback, to be honest with you. And that's just being like true with you. So
okay.
That's how I feel about it.
Before I get to the next game, I see some notes. I hope I caught up with everybody's questions. But we have a new one from Vicious Killer. Welcome to the show. Are you traded Jefferson? Nope. But I finished traded Justin Jefferson for Stephon Diggs and Jahmyr Gibbs. That is kind of tempting. Running backs they have right now are Rachaad White and J.K. Dobbins. Wide receivers are you have Amon-Ra St. Brown and T. Higgins. First of all, what the heck happened in this league that you got Justin Jefferson, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and T. Higgins? I mean, goodness gracious, that is a nice lineup. Jahmyr Gibbs is tempting. Stephon Diggs is nice, but I'm not trading Justin Jefferson. There's certain players that, for me, are just on a no trade under any circumstances list, and Justin Jefferson is that dude. I actually saw a social media post. This was in a dynasty league. Somebody talking about what would be an acceptable trade for Justin Jefferson. And somebody was like, I need at least 5 first-round picks. I was like, and some players. It's like, Justin Jefferson is that dude. And there's just no – the Diggs and Jahmyr Gibbs is tempting, I will admit. But I'm going Justin – I'm not letting go of Justin Jefferson no matter what.
I think Gibbs is going to be good
Jahmyr Gibbs is going to be good this year. But I think David Montgomery is going to eat enough to keep Jahmyr Gibbs from being worth that trade.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I'm still not trading Jefferson. Yeah. Jefferson definitely not, and it's not happening for me. I wouldn't trade Jefferson, so no.
We got some We got some Alabama hate. Mac Jones plays like Mac Jones.
I
And
mean,
John
I'm
says
not lying though. Mac
the Bama's
Jones,
quarterbacks don't show up in the league, and that is true. Tua is
that
the
is
best
true,
example we've seen so far. We'll see how long it. But he also has like two of the best wide receivers in the league. So,
bro.
you know,
Like crazy.
yeah. So he better
Seriously.
succeed because why not? Let me get to this next one, and I'll try to keep an eye out to see if I missed any other questions while I do this. That's you. All right, me. I've got the Rams at the Seahawks, and I told y'all before, I got the Seahawks winning this division. I have the Rams being awful. Without Cooper Kupp there, Tyler Higbee to me is the best option you have other than Cooper Kupp. But, of course, there's Van Jefferson who should do well. I think the Seahawks pick up right where they left off last year, and I think this offense is going to be even better than it was a year ago. There's two things I'm really interested to see happen in this one, and that's I want to see what the split is between Kenneth Walker III and Zach Charbonnet, and I also want to see what is Cam Akers, because I can't figure out Cam Akers. I couldn't draft him this year because I couldn't figure it out, but hey, this game might give us some indication of what Cam Akers can be, so keep your eyes peeled. Oh, did I say the Seahawks win? I think I did. The Seahawks are winning that game, and by a lot.
Yeah, that's the easy one. Seattle has 3 good receivers.
Yeah.
I mean, the defense is that secondary. They said is coming along pretty well. They might be the second coming of Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
Legion of Boom.
Boom.
So I'm just saying, like, y'all know my bold predictions for
Yep,
for
is it your pick?
I got Seattle winning
Okay.
the division. And I feel like they're gonna be really, really good. And I think a lot of people just think I'm crazy. I'm a Niners fan at heart, but I just think they have their receivers, their defense, they have like everything. And the thing is, and they got a better quarterback. So, bro, I'm just saying. I think at the end of the day, you gotta think about Seattle and the team. They got a well-rounded team, to be honest with you. So, in my opinion, so.
Shaq asked the question, how long before Dalton Kincaid takes the job away from Dawson Knox? I would say draft night when they picked him up. I think Kincaid is already the tight end number 1 for that team. Dawson Knox had some good fantasy gains, but Kincaid is the one. Rookie tight ends generally don't do well for fantasy purposes. I think Dalton Kincaid is going to be one of the few exceptions we see for that. Like we saw with Kyle Pitts a couple of years ago. Kincaid, I think, is already over Dawson Knox. What do you think?
Of course. I think Kincaid is. Dawson Knox is in the past, bro. Like Dawson Knox had his time. He got a big contract out of it. So I mean, congrats to him. But he never showed up to be that guy. So Kincaid is definitely better than Dawson Knox. And I think they're gonna show that this year too, to be honest with you. Because for me, Gabe Davis, I'm not a Gabe Davis fan, and I think he can jump Gabe Davis as the number 2 option behind Diggs.
Gabe Davis is literally one game. So
and that's that playoff game. One game, clearly. But you tell anybody else that they'll think you wrong, like he was good or something. But I don't think he was really good.
And John Bland said, "Are we sold on Seattle's quarterback?" I am sold on Geno.
I'm sold on Geno.
I'm sold on Geno because he has DK Metcalf, who's practically unguardable, Tyler Lockett, and now JSN added to that mix. He has 2 very capable running backs. He can't help but be good in that offense. And so, I'm all in on Geno Smith.
I'm all in on Geno too. I think Geno, you heard it here. I think Geno the best quarterback in the NFC West. Period. Over Stafford, definitely over Purdy. In Arizona, they don't know who they want to play at quarterback, to be honest with you. So he's probably the best quarterback in that division this year. So I'm big on Geno this year.
I'm big on Geno.
To be honest
and Jamal's adding that Kincaid is still on the depth chart below Dawson Knox. Yeah, depth charts are depth charts.
I depth charts. But I mean,
yeah.
they got Bijan
right.
as the 3rd running back on the depth chart, so that don't mean nothing too. So
I can't argue against it, but I'm just saying from my eye test, Kincaid has that job the moment they drafted him.
Yeah, because they drafted him for a reason.
I don't think Dawson Knox becomes an afterthought, but he's the number 2 tight end on that league. And hey, we've seen 2 tight ends produce good numbers together, but I think it's the Kincaid show.
Yeah, me too.
Davis had some big games last year. And we have another comment. Keep your eyes on Brian Robinson Jr. We talked Brian Robinson Jr. earlier. I think he's going to be good. I still say it's Antonio Gibson. And in this Bieniemy offense, I think he's going to be. What Davis are we talking about for big games last year? Help me out.
I don't remember any big games he had. I mean, I know he had about 700 yards, 800 yards or something like that. But for me, over as many games they play nowadays in the NFL, if you're getting 700, 800 yards, that's not a lot to me. I'm sorry. I mean,
yeah, I'm good for 300 myself. Put me out. No, I'm not.
For 300. I'm good
please
for 300
don't. Please
myself.
don't.
I probably can give you.
I am crushed. Actually, I don't even make it to the field because I'm gonna bust my ACL just getting off the bench. So yeah, nah.
I can give you 300 easy with no problems. 300.
Get to your next game, brother.
I got the Bucks. I'm sorry, Shaq. I'm gonna hurt your feelings on this one, but I got the Bucks and the Vikings. I'm going the Vikings on this one. Obviously, you play Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Rashad White. You play those guys for fantasy purposes. Kirk Cousins. I think Alexander Madison is gonna have a really, really good year, and obviously Justin Jefferson. T.J. Hawkins is signed a big deal, highest paid tight end. So you definitely go with the Vikings, and I think Kirk Cousins. He starts out hot, but you gotta realize you gotta reel Kirk Cousins in sometimes because he can't have those bad games. But I'm going with the Vikings on this one, and I think the Vikings win this one.
Yeah, Vikings all the way on this one. Baker Mayfield is the quarterback for the Bucks. I don't know if y'all knew that or not. So
I mean, I wasn't gonna say that, but Shaq is on the line, so we don't want to hurt nobody's feelings.
I know our third man loves his team. I will say this: the 2 running backs I think are the most interesting players for me in this matchup because Rashawn White I think should have a nice. Breakout seems like too strong of a word because I just don't think the Bucks are gonna be able to support a breakout running back.
No.
But if they can. It would be him. I think he's gonna excel at that role, and I'm really interested to see what Alexander Madison can be without Dalvin Cook in front of him. And I know you were big on
I love Alexander
because you
I
have
think
him.
Madison.
How many leagues did you have him in? Do you know?
I just drafted him. Again.
Oh, just so practically all of them. Is that what you're saying?
I mean, kind of, sort of, yeah. I think Madison is gonna go off this year. I think Madison gonna do work this year.
Yeah.
And he just look out for Madison. Madison, because he ain't got nobody behind him, he gonna play free. I think he does work this year, man. Yeah. I'm an Alexander Madison believer.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Well, Shaq has Addison going crazy this week, but still taking the L. Okay. I agree with the first comment. The second one, okay. Well, I say this. It's not like the Vikings were convincing a year ago, but, the Bucks still have Baker Mayfield. So I don't think there's any getting around that.
I mean, Shaq, you got to just be honest with yourself, man. Like, let's be real now. You're the third man of the show now, and we get it. But we talking about Baker Mayfield, of all people. So we'll see. I got the Bucks losing. I know it's gonna be a hard one for you, but your fantasy team might win.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Hey, there's some fantasy hope for them. Real life, not really. The Bucks. It's hard to say who's the worst team in that division, but the Bucks are at least in competition for it. It's probably the Panthers.
I told you, it's probably the Panthers, but I think the Bucks, they fight for a final playoff spot this year. I'm not saying they're making it, but they definitely fight for one. I will say that.
Okay. Well, let me hit my next. Make sure I don't see any questions. Yeah. So let me hit my next game. Speaking of the Panthers in that horrible division, they play against Bijan Robinson and the Falcons. And the only thing I want to see out of this game is the two rookies. I want to see what Bryce Young does and what Bijan Robinson does. And the good thing is neither of those teams have defenses. We saw that offensive line for the Panthers is terrible, but the Falcons have absolutely no pass rush, and the Panthers just can't stop the run. So I think these rookies can help each other out by having really good games, because they're really the only thing that's exciting about either of those teams. Otherwise, this game is trash. The over-under is only 39.5 points. So Vegas is telling you there's little to no fantasy value in this game. Leave it alone. Just watch those two rookies, and because they're playing against such terrible teams, they both should have a chance to shine. But, yuck. In double yuck for that entire game. Who you got winning? Oh, did I say Falcons win? Because I think the Panthers are the worst team.
I'm going to say the Falcons, just because I think they're going to run the ball a whole lot, to be honest with you. So, but I think it's not worth watching. It's going to be hard. It's really going to be hard to really watch that game. So I ain't watching it, but I got the Falcons winning.
I'm interested in watching it if I have Bijan Robinson on my fantasy football teams. I don't have Bijan Robinson on any of my fantasy football teams, so I'm with you. I'm not interested in watching it.
But the question is this:
yeah,
does Bijan and Algier split carries,
100%.
or how does it?
But hey, we saw that they were willing to take the ball out of Kyle Pitts, who was probably the only. Well, Drake London's good too, but they were willing to take the ball out of their star players' hands to just run the ball, and made Tyler Algier, who nobody probably drafted, into a 1,000-yard running back. I think, and we said this before earlier, that there's enough rushing that this team is going to do that both guys will be able to have some fantasy football success. Bijan Robinson obviously is going to get used a lot in the passing games, but Tyler Algier is going to steal some carries. So
he is, but I don't know if it's going to be a 50-50 split. But
no, I don't think it's that high. No,
I think he's going to eat into a lot of his carries, though, because you still got to figure he's a 1,000-yard rusher. They just not going to sit him on the bench, and they're going to get him some carries. And I think because the quarterback is not that great, I think they're going to run the ball so much. I think both of them are going to eat, so I don't think it's a bad thing. So I think it's actually good, to be honest with you.
But not good enough to do a lot of fantasy football players on either team, because these are really bad teams. That whole division's terrible.
Yeah.
All right. You ready for your next one, or you got to make your draft pick?
No, I'm done. My draft is done.
Oh, you done? All right, you got to tell us before we sign off how well you did.
I tell you when we sign off.
All right, here you go. You're up.
My next game is the Cardinals versus the Commanders, and you're not playing anybody from the Cardinals in this game. Far as the Commanders, Scary Terry, I say you play Gibson. I mean, you could throw Brian Robinson out there just because of the fact that the Commanders are a very bad team. I'm sorry, the Cardinals are a very bad team. They got the Commanders winning this. And I want to say this, they sold out their first game this year, which is probably because of new ownership and things of that nature. So I think you got to go Commanders on this one. And I think Gibson has a really good game. Now, I'm going to tell you like this. Watch out for the quarterback for Washington. I like him a lot this year. So I did. So I think he's going to do well.
Yeah, I'm with you. I got the Commanders winning that. Of course, Tony chimes in to let us know he also has the Commanders winning this one. I think Bijan, I still got Bijan on the brain. I think Brian Robinson and Antonio Gibson are going to eat in this game only because, like you said, the Cardinals are so bad. They're going to be up. They're going to just run the ball because why would they do anything else other than that? That team is just terrible. The Cardinals are just terrible, and they're just terrible.
I'm sorry. Can I bring a guest with me down here?
Oh, you got to go get. Go ahead. Go.
Can I bring a guest down here? I'm sorry, y'all. My son is up and he's doing some stuff. I'm going to get my son. Hold up. Y'all get to meet him. Hold on.
All right, so we're gonna lose our co-host again for a little bit, but I try to keep y'all entertained until we get him back. And I guess the best thing for me to do is to go to my next game. So I've got the next 40 seconds. We're a great show because Tony says we should watch it in love. All right, if that works. All right, let me get to this next game. I have that's him. I have the Dolphins and the Chargers, and I mentioned this game earlier. They're going to be a butt ton of points, so I'm playing every wide receiver I can think of. That's why, going back to an earlier question, I might, in fact, I'm going to say for now, I definitely put Keenan Allen in on this game because it's going to just be a plethora of points. Vegas has this one at 51 points. The only game that projected to score more is that Kansas City game with Detroit. There's just going to be points all over the board. So I'm playing all my guys. I'm really interested to seeing how Tua comes out of this one because the only thing that scared you from Tua a year ago was his concussion problems. But I think he picks up where he left off. For the games that we saw him, Tua was crushing it. And I think Tua's going to crush it again in this game. Offensive explosion. But the Chargers win because, I just think they're the better team. And while their defense isn't great, their defense is better than anything you're going to see out of Miami. So who you got winning this one? And more importantly, who did your son pick?
Who did you pick, son? Huh?
Welcome to the show. Man, you're getting big.
I know, man. Definitely getting big. Who did you have? I'm sorry, man. I apologize.
I had the Chargers beating Miami.
Oh, I got the Chargers slightly, only because they got probably a better defense than Miami. But I also like Miami, but I think it's gonna be a barn burner, to be honest with you. So I think it comes down to probably the last team that's on offense, because those two receivers, man, you can't discount those two receivers in Miami, man. But you also can't discount Herbert either. So I think it's going to be a barn burner, in my opinion. So,
like I said, son, they're going to be tons of points in there. And Tony's bringing back Ryan Clark, who talks too crazy. But John said he actually doesn't think Gibson's going to eat in this game. Need some more time to talk on Washington?
Yeah, we can talk on Washington.
Okay.
Let's talk a little bit. That's my brother, by the way. He's a Washington fan.
Okay.
And he's a big Washington fan. So we're going to a game later this year. We play the 49ers. So I think Washington can be good. I like Sam Howell this year. Sam Howell is really, in my opinion, is going to be a good quarterback. I think they found the guy, man, to be honest with you, man.
Well, they've had a run of bad ones, except for that one year with RG3 before he got hurt.
Yeah, see, the coach came out early. He's like, I should have played him earlier because I didn't know he was there. But that's the coach's fault, though. The coach should have seen that he was that good. Now, if he would have played him earlier in the year, he probably would have had more wins. But Sam Howell, he's really good. He showed me something in the preseason, to be honest with you.
I was impressed by what I saw. So we could see. I say this about the NFC East: they're known for having some surprise guys that pop up and win that division that you weren't expecting. I don't think it happens this year because I just don't think anybody's beating the Eagles. But hey, Jeremiah has a fan out in the audience, so, and hopefully he can help you out. Probably with your picks.
He'll be here one day. He gonna have his own league when he bought 6. So nah, he's a night owl, man. This boy don't go to sleep for nothing. So I'm gonna just let him be up. Let him be up with daddy at night.
And he can help you with your next game. You ready for
it? Let's go.
And it's a good one for you.
Oh yeah. So I got the Jags versus the Colts.
Oh, I thought you were doing the other one.
I got the Jags game.
Yeah, but I thought you were talking your team next.
No, I'm gonna do that last.
Oh, well, you
I'm
got
gonna
to
do that
talk
last.
to me. Hold
I'm
up.
gonna do that last. I got it. I'm gonna do that last.
All right, well,
So I got the
you go ahead and
I
get
got
started, and I'll join you.
okay.
My
So I
bad.
got the Jags and the Colts. And I got the Jags winning this. You're not starting anybody in this game from the Colts. Obviously, you want Trevor Lawrence. I think Calvin Ridley is back. Calvin Ridley definitely coming back from that 1 year suspension. I think he's going to show the old Calvin Ridley, and I think Travis Etienne is going to do work. I think they're going to feed him a lot. They said Bigsby was supposed to take some away from him, but I don't see that happening. The coach is talking up Travis a lot, so I got I got the Jags winning this by a lot. So definitely.
Yeah, I am 100% Jags on this one. I think the Colts are going to be just hot garbage this year. As much as I want Anthony Richardson to succeed, without Jonathan Taylor there, I just don't think that that's going to be a possibility. But hey, maybe he's going to surprise me and he's going to be everything everybody expected him to be and more. So you
Yeah.
got to hope. I also have, like I said, I definitely have. I don't even think this one's close. I think Trevor Lawrence reached a new level last year, and I think they're going to run all through the Colts. Sorry, that's my mom's team, but they're going to lose pretty badly.
Oh yeah.
And you need to be ready for that. John back again saying he thinks the wide receivers for what I love the Washington wide receivers.
Me too.
We always
I
talk
love
Scary Terry. I love Jahan Dotson. I tried to pick him up and more. I was surprised I couldn't get Jahan Dotson this year in fantasy as much as I wanted to, because I really thought people were gonna sleep on him and he was gonna be available. I think I ended up getting him in like 2 leagues maybe, but I wanted more Jahan Dotson than I got. I think they're gonna be good. I don't know if I agree with Tony with them making the playoffs because I already said I think the wild card goes to the Cowboys as much as I don't want it to be, but we'll see what he do.
I think speaking of, I think Jahan Dotson may match Scary Terry. Now he may have more, obviously targets. I think he's gonna get a lot of receptions this year, Jahan Dotson, because if you watch the way they play in the preseason, Jahan Dotson was that third
Yeah.
down guy. He was that short intermediate guy, and I think Jahan Dotson is really going to do work this year. He's going. I might go out on a limb and say 100 receptions this year because he's going to get that many per
Okay.
game. So I definitely like Jahan Dotson. I'm always a Scary Terry fan, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But I think they got really 2 good receivers this year, so I can't be mad at that. You all right, son?
Yeah, Scary Terry was good with no matter what quarterback they threw out there, and I think we both are impressed enough with Sam Howell that
Yeah.
he should be good. All right, let me check for questions. Oh, more love for Washington. All right, we have to stop talking about the Commanders right now. 'Cause Tony's getting just way too excited for my comfort levels. He calling them the poor man Chiefs.
Oh gosh, he's
Ooh,
doing way too much now.
Whoa. I'm going to just go to my next game.
Please.
All right,
Please,
I
man.
got Green Bay and the Bears. This is going to be a game where we see, I think, one of the greatest rushing quarterbacks of all time, as he described himself, going against what do we get from Jordan Love? We talked earlier there's some potential injury issues with Jordan Love's wide receivers, so I don't
Yeah.
know how well that's going to work out. But I think Aaron Jones, of course, is the guy you always play. I love Justin Fields in this game. I think he finally puts it together at the beginning of a season, and we'll see what he do. But for the most part, I don't love this game enough to recommend a lot of players. But I am interested in seeing what Khalil Herbert looks like, give him the opportunity. I got the Bears winning this game just barely. This is the closest point spread of all the games. Only 1 point. So they're giving the Bears a little bit of love, I think, just because it's a home game. But that game could go either way. But I'm going to go with the Bears. I'm going to see if Justin Fields is for real.
I'm gonna go with Green Bay on this one.
You
I
called the
think
Packers winning the division, right? Or
I called
did you
the
say
Packers winning the division, and I think Green Bay wins this game because I have to see Justin Fields throw the ball more than 17 times a game. That's my biggest thing. They acting like they want him to throw, but I gotta see it. I think Jordan Love is better than what most people think.
Yeah, he should
real
be
with you.
pretty good.
And I think they're gonna run the ball a lot. I think Aaron Jones, I think AJ Dillon, I think those guys gonna get a bunch of carries. But I think when you need something, I think Jordan Love is gonna get you there. And he progressed a lot in preseason. As preseason went on, every game he got better. So I like Jordan Love in this one. I like Green Bay in this game, to be honest with you. I got the win in the division. So
I'm going to give our producer a chance to shine because I think she has some words for Tony. Producer.
Oh, I don't have nothing.
Oh, she don't even have it. She's not even up. But we can hear you though.
I shut it down because there was issues.
All right. Well. Let Tony know in the comments. Or go back to your old days of just yelling.
I am. That's why I'm over here. No, wait a minute. Hold on.
She might come. She might come from behind the curtain on this one, Tony.
So since the baby in the picture, here I am.
There we go.
Wait, where am I? How? You gonna say the poor man Chiefs? Really? I'm out, yo.
Nah, Tony.
No, hold on. Gotta come back. Where am I? Disrespectful. Disrespectful. Nah, I'm out.
Guys, I'm truly sorry about the baby being in the camera tonight, y'all. But you know.
But y'all have the offensive coordinator for the Chiefs, but that's all you got. Until Sam Howell, Sam Howell has a lot more to show before I go to they the super poor man. She like discount Ben.
No, poor man brioche, not the Chiefs. I can give you poor man brioche. It's a bread. It's not football.
Nah. You know they used to call Trey Lance the poor man. Patrick Mahomes, and we saw how well that's turned out so far.
Yeah,
so I don't think you want to put that evil on your team, Tony.
Wait, why you sound like dodgeball right there? I'm sorry.
Yeah. I don't even know whose turn this is right now.
Sorry, that went all out of control.
Is it your turn? Did you just go? Did you just tell us?
I just did the Jag. Well, it's my go. That's my go.
You just told us about the Jags and the Colts, didn't you?
Yeah, but you just did the Green Bay game.
So I did? Oh, okay. Like I said, lost complete control of the show right now. I have no idea.
I'm sorry.
That's all right. Hey, it's a family show, people. We got the kids. We got everybody. Hey, look. We definitely got the kids. You got a fan, Jeremiah. Somebody said you was handsome, buddy. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, you are. All right, so it's your go. So do your thing, player.
So I got my last and final game.
No, it's not because you have two. Because you didn't do the Giants and the Cowboys. You said you're going to do your team last.
Oh, I can do the Giants Cowboys.
Yeah.
All right, so I got the Giants the Cowboys game. I must have skipped that one when I was doing my homework today, but it's all good. So I got the Giants and the Cowboys. I'm going the Cowboys on this one. I think they just got the better roster, to be honest with you. Daniel Jones is going to come back to life for real, to be honest with you. I don't think Daniel Jones is that good. And they don't have any good receivers. I think Saquon is the only thing they have that's worth starting in fantasy at this point. You put Daniel Jones on the bench, but I got the Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb, Dak, you got Tony Pollard, you got Parsons out there. I just think Dallas is a better team, and I think they're going to win this thing. I don't even think it's going to be close, to be honest with you.
The Giants surprised a lot of people last year, and I think they make this game interesting. Yeah. But in theory, if you're just looking at these two teams on paper, it's hard for me to say the Giants are going to be better than the Cowboys. But the Cowboys just found ways to shoot themselves in the foot. But I'm going to still go with because it's week one, I'm just going to go with what I see on paper and try to make my best guess. And I'm going to go with you and say the Cowboys.
Yeah, I got the Cowboys winning.
Fantasy-wise, Daniel Jones, if you have to. Like I said, for rushing leads, assuming he can do that, you might get something from him. But I'm really only interested in Saquon on this one. Tony, a Washington fan, is also picking Dallas to win it because I mean it's just a smart play because do you think the Giants were for real from last year, or do you think they
No,
just
I
kind
just
of
think I they didn't win that many games to be for
no
real, for real. To be
they
honest with
didn't?
you, I mean, in that they played well in that playoff game against Minnesota, but other than that, I mean, Daniel Jones did show out in that game, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't like if you're telling me a whole season, Daniel Jones only threw for like 3,200 yards last year. You
Yeah.
can't sit here and tell me Daniel Jones is that good of a quarterback to tell me to get $40 million. And
No.
for him to be successful, you gotta have Saquon there.
Yeah.
Saquon gotta be healthy and ready to roll for you to say, you know what, Daniel Jones is a good quarterback.
That
He's
was
not,
the
man.
best thing they did in the offseason was get Saquon back in the building because
Yeah.
without him, that's terrible.
That $40 million gonna go to waste because
well, I
I'm
think it
trying to
still
tell
goes
you,
to waste because
I think it's still go to waste too,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. But I think at the end of the day, they pretty much are gonna be like, bro, we gave Daniel Jones $40 million because if Saquon wouldn't have showed up,
yeah,
it would have showed how bad of a quarterback he was. And I know people want to say Daniel Jones supposed to be good. Daniel Jones wasn't good. I'm sorry, over a 17, 18 game span, he definitely threw for 3,200 yards last year.
Yeah.
That's not $40 million quarterback. I'm sorry.
I mean, you added. I think he had like somewhere around 700 rushing yards. But
Yeah, but
it's
I
still
mean,
not 40 mil.
No, that's not 40 million.
That's
no.
not 40 mil. So,
Not even.
So, Sydney, they want you to keep your energy up, which I'm sure that is not going to be a problem at all.
Do I need to come back on the other side?
Whatever you need to do.
I'm about to say, that's already ruined the darn show. My bad.
Nah, you good. I got one last game, and you got one more, so I'm going to tell them.
Whatever y'all need, but don't
Whatever
be
you-
talking about no poor man Chiefs, though.
You took it too far, Tony. You took it too far. Yo, let me get to my last game. It is the Monday night game. I got the Bills and the Jets, and I am so doggone excited. I hope Justin is still with us on this one because I think this is potentially at least it's the AFC East matchup. I don't think it's gonna be I don't see the Jets making it to the championship game. I just don't. Unless this Travis Kelce injury is gonna be more serious than we think. I don't see the Chiefs losing yet. And I just there's too much for the Jets to get back. But I said in my bold predictions it's going to be the return of the quarterbacks, revenge of the quarterbacks to me, and I think Aaron Rodgers is going to have a great game. I'm really excited about both quarterbacks in this game. Josh Allen kind of fell off at the end of last year, but I think he's going to go for what else. But what I'm really interested in is we get to find out how Breece Hall is post-injury. And if there's nothing else, I learned that from this game and see how much they're going to mix in Dalvin Cook. With the Jets. So you're not going to know 100% from this one game. It's just one data point. But at least gives us a first chance to see what Breece Hall is going to look like. Because I do have Breece Hall in the Dynasty League, and I'm hoping he comes back and he comes back strong. I got the Bills winning this one, despite the fact that the Jets are going to be much improved, and I think they're going to challenge for this division. I think it still belongs to the Bills until somebody comes and takes it away from them.
Yeah, I got the Bills. I got the Bills winning this thing. It belongs to the Bills. I think the Jets are making strides, obviously.
Yeah, they made a lot of strides, yeah.
They made a lot of strides, but I got the Bills winning this. I think Josh Allen is just too good of a quarterback, and I think Diggs is just too good of a receiver, and that's who they rely on. And whether you like it or not, Josh Allen don't get hurt. And if he does get hurt, he'll never tell you. So he'll never tell you that he's hurt. So
he's big enough that he can pretend he's not hurt.
Yeah,
that dude.
I mean, I've seen him take a lot of blows in some games.
Yeah,
and I was like, wow, that was a big hit. He'll get up slow, but he'll keep it moving though.
Yeah.
It's like I always say, he's one of those guys that makes other players better.
Yeah,
and he's shown that. So, yes, I'm not a Gabriel Davis fan. But I'm definitely he makes Gabriel Davis a little bit better, but Gabriel Davis he needs the help from Josh Allen.
You're ruining the show, closing up with the 49ers, by the way. I just think your brother wants you to know.
Oh, no, he's going to be surprised with my pick, though. He's going to be surprised with my pick. Don't you worry about that.
Yo, before you go to your last game, I do have one question for you. Do you think this is the year we finally see the Buffalo Bills do something with a running back? Is James Cook going to be the guy?
No, not even.
I didn't need. Okay.
No.
That's what I thought.
Their running back is named Josh Allen.
It really kind of is.
That's what they're running back. Yeah. They don't. They can talk like they want to run it back, but they really don't want to run it back. I mean, Josh Allen is humongous, and he's the running back, and so
at least for touchdowns, he's the guy.
That's what makes him fantasy relevant.
Sort of like what Cam Newton was, because a similarly big guy. I mean, you're gonna go with it because it's gonna work. So
yeah. So
right. Bring us home.
So I got my last game, final and last game, people, is the 49ers and the Steelers. Obviously, you know the guys from the 49ers, CMC, Debo, Brandon Ayuk, Kittles. But I'm going with Pittsburgh on this one. Kenny Pickett, Najee Harris, George Pickens, Deontay Johnson. And I'm a 49ers fan to the heart. But I'm telling you right now, I think Kenny Pickett's going to have a monster game. I think George Pickens is going to have a monster game. Our secondary, especially our right corner, is not that great. Our right side of the O-line is not that great. And our quarterback stinks. So I think he throws a lot of picks. He's going to throw a lot of picks in this game, probably. I say he throws 2 picks this game. And I think Tomlin is going to come prepared for the 49ers. And if you're playing in Pittsburgh, week 1, Tomlin's always prepared for that. And we always start slow anyway. So I got Pittsburgh winning this game probably by 14. So no Bosa on top of that because he just signed and I don't think he's in game shape. So I doubt he played. If he does, he only playing about 30 snaps. So, yeah.
Well, if you are a fan of the show, and I hope you are, you probably noticed last week I said Steelers all the way.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts this week. I'm looking for big things from the Steelers this year. I told y'all last week I think the Steelers are going to win the AFC North. I think they're going to be the best, and they're going to shock everybody. And I didn't go into all of this last week, but I probably should have. They split games with the Bengals just last year, and they probably should have won the second game.
Yep.
They're a really good team. If there was a year that the Steelers were going to be bad, it was last year, and they still managed to get a winning record. Steelers are going to win the division, and they're going to make a statement this Sunday when they beat the 49ers, who a lot of people are predicting to make it to the Super Bowl. You heard it here first. I know Carla's happy.
I mean, like I say, the problems, like people want to sugarcoat all this stuff with the 49ers. And one thing about it, I'm a realist. I keep it real about my team. And our biggest flaws is we don't have a right side, and they're going to put J.J. Watt on that right side. I'm sorry, T.J. Watt on that right side.
Yeah.
And T.J. Watt is going to wreak havoc.
Yeah,
he's going to wreak havoc all
I see 2.5 sacks over here from John Bland. Jeremiah also agrees with the Steelers,
he does.
I think. I'm sure.
So I think he's going to wreak havoc. I think Purdy's trash.
You saw the keys, just a comment?
Yeah, I see that. Let me tell you something about. I think, all right, let's be real. Purdy, and I know people. Okay, son, we got it. We got you. Okay. I know they say training camp don't matter, but when you throw 20 interceptions in training camp, that means something. That's called you practice how you play in the real game. So I think when you think about it, he's limited. He's a Jimmy G 2.0, and then they're gonna manage that between 15 to 20 yards, and I think that's how they're gonna play Purdy.
Yeah.
And I think they're gonna play him, and they're gonna expose him a little bit as far as because he can't throw the deep. Son, I get it.
Yeah.
You get it, son. We get it. It's
All
okay.
right, we're gonna wrap it up so you can handle your stuff. But we have one last question, then we're gonna pop out here, and I think we kind of commented on this earlier, so we'll just recap what we said before. Someone has Chris Godwin, and I lost it. They have Chris Godwin and Christian Watson as their wide receivers. I think those are both good number 2 wide receiver 2s. I don't think either one of them is a wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
But Christian Watson, I think, can be close to that just from sheer volume he's going to get because there's really not a lot behind him. I said earlier, I do like Jaden Reed. I think he's going to be good, but I think Christian Watson remains the one for this team as long as he's there, out there and healthy because we both think Jordan Love should have a good year as the full starter. Chris Godwin has an opportunity, and we know our third man is all Mike Evans, but Chris Godwin is a serviceable wide receiver as well. So I think you got 2 wide receiver 2s. If you can get something better, I try to go for it. But, depending on what I'm hoping your running back situation and tight ends are much better because you don't have the best of wide receivers. But let us know.
So I'm gonna let y'all know what I drafted. I did draft tonight, so I apologize.
Oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
I was drafting during the show, and I had my son, so it's all good. I apologize. So, son, I get it. It's okay. Thank you. He's got his little teething ring. He's doing something down here. So I ended up, it's a 2-quarterback league. So I ended up with Justin Herbert, Kirk Cousins, Jalen Waddle, Scary Terry, Saquon Barkley, Najee Harris, Dallas Goedert, George Pickens, Alexander Madison, C.J. Stroud, Gibson, Jordan Addison, Rashad Penny, Zeke, and Quentin Johnson.
That's a nice squad.
Yeah, I know how to draft. I'm sorry.
Distracted during the show, but still drafting a championship team. I like it. I'm gonna ban you from the show because you have way too much George Pickens, and I'm still mad at you for taking him from me in another league.
I love George Pickens. So. No, look, I took George Pickens over a lot of people, so I think George Pickens. I got him in every league. So
I ain't mad at you.
He will do work this year.
He's gonna do some work.
And I did this all while doing the show right now, and then having to run upstairs and doing stuff like that.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and sign off. Thanks everybody for being part of this show. And congratulations to you on being able to draft, do daddy duty, and do the show all at once. So you win the prize for the day. So y'all, thanks for joining us. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow us. We're here every Wednesday helping you with your fantasy football questions, and we appreciate your comments and you guys throwing in your opinions as well. Hey, we all make this show work together, so we appreciate you having you here. Love y'all. Good luck in week 1, and meet us back here. Let us know how you guys did.
We'll see you next week. Third man, be on the lookout.
Be on the lookout. All right. Peace out, y'all.
Peace out.